My wife changed the locks while I was at my mother's funeral. I came home at 3:17 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon to find my clothes in trash bags on the lawn and a lawyer's letter taped to the front door. After 23 years of marriage, I was homeless with nothing but a borrowed suit and my mother's personal belongings in a cardboard box. Among those belongings was an old bank card I almost threw away. When I finally used it 3 days later, expecting maybe $200 for a motel room, the ATM showed a balance that made my knees buckle, $847,000. But that money wasn't the real shock. It was what I discovered about where that money came from and what my wife had been hiding for the past 8 years. Wednesday morning, September 6th. I was drinking coffee in our Pasadena kitchen, watching my wife Jessica prepare for her day. At 51, I'd been with this woman since I was 28. "Robert, did you book the flights for Miami?" Jessica asked, checking her phone. "Not yet. Mom's doctor appointment is today. I want to see what he says about her condition before we commit to vacation dates." Jessica's expression tightened. "Your mother has been declining for 3 years now. At some point, we need to live our lives." The familiar sting of her impatience with my mother. They'd never gotten along. Jessica tolerated Margaret Anderson, but there was always tension. "She's 83, Jess. The doctors say it could be any time now." "Fine. Cancel Miami then." She grabbed her purse. "I'll be late tonight. Client dinner." "Another one." "It's my job, Robert." She kissed my cheek. Perfunctory. Routine. "Don't wait up." I'd spent 23 years building a comfortable life. I worked as an accountant making $95,000. Jessica made $140,000 in marketing. Combined, we were solidly upper middle class with a nice house, annual vacations, and a seemingly perfect life. But lately something had shifted. Jessica was distant, always on her phone. Those client dinners happened 3 or 4 times a week. We hadn't been intimate in 7 months. At 2 p.m., I sat in Dr. Patel's office with my mother, who looked so small in the examination chair. Cancer had reduced her to 90 pounds of fragile bone and translucent skin. "I'm sorry, Robert," Dr. Patel said gently. "We're looking at weeks now, not months." My mother squeezed my hand. "It's all right, sweetheart. I've had a good life. Listen to me." Her voice was whisper thin. "When I'm gone, there are things in my safe deposit box at First National Bank. Important things. Promise me you'll go there right away. Don't wait. Don't tell Jessica. Just go." "What things?" "Promise me first." "I promise." "Good boy. You've always been such a good boy, Robert. Better than I deserved. I have regrets. Things I should have told you years ago. But I was trying to protect you." That was the last real conversation I ever had with my mother. She died 4 days later, on September 10th, at 6:23 a.m. I was holding her hand. She opened her eyes one final time and whispered, "The bank, Robert. Everything's at the bank. I'm so sorry." I called Jessica from the hospital. She answered on the 4th ring, sounding annoyed. "What is it?" "I'm in a meeting. Mom died. About 20 minutes ago." Silence. Then, "Oh, okay. I'll come home early." The funeral was September 13th, small service, maybe 30 people. Jessica stood beside me in a black dress, checking her phone every 10 minutes. After the burial, Jessica claimed she needed to stop by the office. "I'll meet you at the reception in an hour," she'd said. She never showed up. At 3:17 p.m., I pulled into our driveway to find 6 black trash bags on the front lawn and an official-looking envelope taped to our front door. Notice of dissolution of marriage, temporary restraining order. Jessica Marie Anderson has filed for divorce. You are ordered to vacate the marital residence immediately. You are prohibited from entering the property or contacting Mrs. Anderson except through legal counsel. I tried my key. The locks had been changed. "Jessica." I called out. "Jessica, please. What's happening?" The door opened 6 inches, held by a chain. Jessica's face appeared, cold and unfamiliar. "You need to leave, Robert." "What? Why? We can talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. I want a divorce. Take your things and go." "But why? What did I do?" Her laugh was bitter. "What did you do? You're 51 years old making $95,000 a year with no ambition, no drive, no future. You've dragged me down for 23 years. I'm done. Wait, where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. And Robert, don't even think about fighting this divorce. My lawyer will destroy you. The door slammed shut. I checked into a Motel 6 off the 210 freeway. $73 a night. I dragged the trash bags into the dingy room and sat on the bed, staring at walls the color of old cigarette smoke. On the third day, September 16th, I was going through the trash bags when I found a cardboard box, my mother's belongings from the hospital. Inside her wallet, I found 2 bank cards. One was her regular checking account at Chase. The other was from First National Bank, the same bank she'd mentioned in the hospital. The card had expired in 2019, but I remembered everything's at the bank. At 11 a.m., I walked into the First National Bank branch on Colorado Boulevard. The teller examined my mother's card and death certificate, then called her supervisor. Gerald Freeman, the branch manager, led me to his office. Mr. Anderson, your mother was a client here for 4 to 7 years. I knew her personally. After verifying my identity, he turned his monitor toward me. Account balance, $847,294.73. That can't be right. It's correct. Your mother was very disciplined. She deposited $400 a month for 23 years, from 1977 to 2000. Compound interest over 4 to 7 years creates substantial growth. He pulled out a sealed envelope. Your mother left specific instructions that I give you this personally and immediately. The letter was in my mother's handwriting. My dearest Robert, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I'm so sorry. The money in this account is yours, all of it. But the money isn't the important thing. Your father's name was William Ashford. He was married when we met. I was his secretary. We had an affair. I got pregnant. He offered me $50,000 to disappear. I took it and moved to California. In 1977, I discovered William had died in a car accident. He'd never had other children. You were his only heir. I hired a lawyer and filed a paternity claim. The courts ruled in your favor. The Ashford family paid $300,000 to settle quietly. I put that money in a growth account and added to it every month. I wanted you to have security. But 8 years ago, a woman came to my house, Diane Ashford, William's widow. She told me she knew about Jessica. That Jessica had come to her asking questions about the Ashford estate. That Jessica married you deliberately and was planning something. I hired a private investigator. What he found destroyed me. Jessica has been having an affair for 5 years with Marcus Holloway, a divorce attorney. They've been planning to divorce you, take everything, and claim a portion of the Ashford inheritance. I have evidence. Photos, financial records, communications. It's all in my safe deposit box at this bank, box number 347. Robert, I'm so sorry. Use this money. Protect yourself. And please forgive me for waiting so long to tell you the truth. Your mother, Margaret. The safe deposit box contained 3 folders. Folder 1, Ashford Inheritance Documentation. DNA paternity test from 1977 court settlement documents, photos of my father, William Ashford, letters from Ashford family attorneys. I was the secret son of a wealthy industrialist. Folder 2, Jessica investigation results. Photos of Jessica and Marcus Holloway together since 2018, phone records showing thousands of calls between them, financial documents showing Jessica had transferred $127,000 from our joint accounts, a document titled Strategy for Maximum Asset Acquisition in Anderson Divorce. The strategy memo was chilling. Phase 1, financial preparation, complete. Redirect marital funds to separate accounts. Phase 2, discovery of hidden assets, in progress. Pursue Ashford inheritance claim through Robert Anderson, estimated value, $2 to $15 million potential recovery. Phase 3, divorce timing, pending. File during vulnerable period, death of mother ideal. Phase 4, post-divorce Ashford claim. File civil suit claiming Jessica entitled to portion of Ashford settlement. At the bottom was a handwritten note from the investigator. Mrs. Anderson, Marcus Holloway has done this before. located 2 previous clients who divorced their spouses after similar inheritance investigations. Jessica Anderson appears to be his third target. This is a pattern of deliberate gold digging. Folder 3. Legal preparation. Contact information for pre-vetted divorce attorneys, documentation ready for legal proceedings, notarized affidavit specifying the Ashford inheritance as my separate property. My mother had spent her last years preparing weapons to protect me. Daniel Chen's office was in Century City, 33rd floor. He was sharp-eyed, with the bearing of a man who'd spent 30 years destroying opposing counsel. Mr. Anderson, I've been waiting for this meeting for 4 years. Your mother came to me in 2019 with evidence of your wife's infidelity and a very specific request. Prepare to protect you when Jessica made her move. He opened a thick file. Your mother and I have been building a case for years. We're ready to destroy Jessica's divorce petition. He showed me her petition claiming 60% of marital assets, alimony, in the house. Except for one problem. She committed multiple forms of fraud, Chen said. She transferred $127,000 without your consent, embezzlement. She's had an affair for 5 years. She filed a fraudulent restraining order. She and her attorney boyfriend conspired to claim your inheritance. And she illegally evicted you. What does that mean? We flip this divorce. You file citing her adultery and fraud. We pursue return of stolen funds plus damages. We make it clear that any attempt to claim your Ashford inheritance will result in criminal charges. Then he dropped the bomb. There's something else. Jessica's real name isn't Jessica Marie Thompson. It's Jennifer Marie Holloway. Marcus isn't just her boyfriend, he's her first husband. They never actually split up. Your marriage isn't even legal. She committed bigamy. He showed me more documents. Jessica had been married 4 times. Each marriage ended with significant asset transfers. Marcus was always her attorney. They're professional con artists. They find middle-aged men with hidden assets, marry them, bleed them dry, and move on. You were supposed to be the biggest score. Chen laid out the battle plan over 4 hours. The retainer was $50,000. Your mother prepaid $75,000 toward your legal fees. She set this up 4 years ago. In 1 week, Chen had filed a countersuit for fraud and bigamy, filed a police report with evidence of identity fraud, contacted the district attorney about criminal charges, frozen all joint accounts, filed an emergency motion to regain access to my home. September 21st, Marcus Holloway called Chen's office after receiving the countersuit. This is completely baseless, Marcus said, voice tight. You're claiming bigamy. We have marriage certificates, Chen replied calmly. Jennifer Marie Holloway married Marcus Holloway in 2001. Then in 2002, Jennifer, using the name Jessica Thompson, married Robert Anderson. That's textbook bigamy. You can't prove. We have documents. We have witnesses. We have investigators who tracked your con game across 4 states and 5 victims. Mr. Holloway, you should be talking to a criminal defense attorney. September 23rd, police arrested Jessica at her office for identity fraud and bigamy. Marcus was arrested the same day. September 25th, Judge Patricia Morrison reviewed my motion to regain my house. Mrs. Holloway filed a fraudulent restraining order claiming her husband threatened her. Except her husband was at his mother's funeral with 40 witnesses. This is one of the most egregious abuses of the legal system I've seen in 20 years. Jessica sat in handcuffs, looking defeated. Mr. Anderson, I'm granting your motion. You are restored to full access to your home. Mrs. Holloway is ordered to vacate within 24 hours. September 26th, I returned home. A sheriff's deputy accompanied me. Jessica was packing, looking like a stranger in sweatpants. When she saw me, her face twisted with rage. You bastard. You destroyed everything. This was supposed to be simple, Jessica continued. You were supposed to be easy, weak, controllable. But you had to have that bitch mother with her secret money. 23 years. I wasted 23 years on you. Do you know how boring you are? How mediocre? We had it all planned. Marcus and I were going to retire in Costa Rica with your inheritance money. As she was let out, Jessica turned back. I hope you die alone, Robert. I hope you realize that nobody will ever love you. Because you're not worth loving. Chen's investigation uncovered the full scope of their operation. Victim 1, Thomas Patterson, Denver, 1998 to 2002, lost $250,000. Victim 2, Robert Chen, Seattle, 2002 to 2006, lost $180,000 plus house. Victim 3, David Morrison, Phoenix, 2006 to 2009, lost $320,000. Victim 4, James Rodriguez, Sacramento, 2009 to 2012, lost $280,000. Victim 5, Robert Anderson, Los Angeles, 2001 to 2024, target, $2 to $15 million, con discovered before completion. Each divorce had been handled by Marcus. Each victim fit the same profile, middle-aged professional with stable income and no children. I met Thomas Patterson in a coffee shop. He was 61, gray-haired and weary. I thought I was crazy after the divorce, Thomas said. Everyone said I was just bitter. But your lawyer's call made everything make sense. How did you recover? Honestly, I didn't. Not really. I've been single since the divorce. I can't let anyone in anymore. His words chilled me. But Robert, you have something I didn't have. You have proof. You have a mother who loved you enough to prepare weapons. Use them. Destroy these people. October 3rd, Marcus Holloway's law firm collapsed. The California bar filed disciplinary charges. October 8th, Jessica was formally charged with 5 counts of bigamy, 7 counts of identity fraud, 4 counts of embezzlement, and conspiracy to commit fraud. The DA said they were looking at 15 to 25 years in prison. October 15th, 1 month after my mother's funeral, Chen presented their settlement offer. They are desperate. They want to settle everything quickly. Complete dissolution with admission of fraud. She keeps nothing, returns all stolen money plus interest, pleads guilty to reduced charges with 7 to 10 years recommended. What do I get? Everything, plus $400,000 in restitution from offshore accounts. I thought about Thomas Patterson's haunted eyes, about the other victims. No deal, I said. I want a trial. I want every detail exposed in open court. I want other potential victims to see the news coverage. My mother spent 4 years preparing this. She wanted them destroyed, not just inconvenienced. Chen smiled slowly. Let's give them hell. The trial began March 12th, 6 months later. The courtroom was packed with media. Day 3. I took the stand and walked through 23 years of marriage. Every fake anniversary. Every staged moment. Every lie. Mr. Anderson, were there warning signs you missed? Many. She was secretive about her past. She claimed to have no family. She kept separate accounts. All red flags I ignored because I loved her. Or because you loved who you thought she was. Yes, I love the character she was playing. The real Jennifer I never knew at all. Day 7. They played recordings from my mother's investigator. Jessica and Marcus planning my destruction. Jessica is so pathetically grateful for any attention. Just a wallet with legs. Marcus, the mother's the problem. We need to wait until she dies, then move fast. Jessica, the funeral would be perfect timing. He'll be emotional, vulnerable. He won't fight back. Previous victims testified. Thomas Patterson described how Jessica targeted him after his first wife died. David Morrison testified she faked a pregnancy to rush him into marriage. Day 12. Marcus took the stand and tried to claim Jessica manipulated him. The prosecutor destroyed him with evidence of 3 additional scams he'd run with different partners before Jessica. Day 15. Jessica testified, performing innocence. But cross-examination was surgical. You told Robert Anderson you loved him. Did you? Silence. Did you love the man you spent 23 years married to? Jessica looked at me, eyes cold. No, I didn't love him. He was a job. The courtroom erupted. The jury deliberated 6 days. March 29th, they returned verdicts. Jessica, guilty on all 5 counts. Marcus, guilty on all 7 counts. Sentencing. Jessica got 22 years. Marcus got 19. Chen called with the results. With good behavior, Jessica might get out when she's 74. Marcus will be 78. They'll die in prison. Probably. And the IRS is pursuing tax fraud charges. Additional state charges are being filed in multiple states. You're getting $327,000 plus legal fees in restitution. I'd won completely. So why did I feel so empty? April 2025, 7 months after my mother's funeral. I sold the Pasadena house and bought a small condo in Santa Monica. No memories, no ghosts. The Ashford inheritance sat in investments, growing steadily. At 52, I could probably retire. But what would I do with my time? I kept working as an accountant, switching firms when nobody knew my history. But I was lonely, terribly lonely. I tried therapy. Dr. Sarah Williams specialized in fraud victims. Robert, your ability to trust has been damaged, maybe permanently. Some people recover, others don't. The question is, which kind of person do you want to be? I want to trust again. But how do I know if someone is real? You don't. That's the terrifying truth, you never fully know. But you decide whether the risk of connection is worth the potential pain of betrayal. In May, I received a letter from Colorado State Prison. Robert, I know you hate me. You should. But I need you to understand something. I've been in therapy here. The therapist asked when I first started running cons. I remembered my father, he was a con artist too. He taught me that people are marks, that love is a transaction. Did I love you? No. But did I sometimes wish I could? Yes. And that's the closest to remorse I can offer. You're going to be alone for a long time, Robert. Maybe forever. Not because you're unlovable, but because you loved someone like me and now you think everyone is like me. We're not. Most people are real. Don't let me destroy your entire future the way I destroyed your past. Jennifer, I read it a dozen times. One line stuck, most people are real. June 15th, 2025. 9 months later, I was having coffee near my condo, reading the newspaper alone. Excuse me, is this seat taken? A woman about my age, maybe late 40s, with kind eyes. I noticed you here last week, and the week before, and you always sit alone with this sad intensity. I thought, maybe he needs someone to interrupt his sad newspaper ritual. That's a very strange way to introduce yourself. I know, but seriously, you look like you could use a friend. I'm divorced, recently, and my ex was a piece of work. I don't trust men. You clearly don't trust women. So we're equally damaged. Want to be damaged together over coffee. Despite myself, I smiled. That's the most honest pickup line I've ever heard. Her name was Sarah. We talked for 2 hours about nothing important. She was a graphic designer, divorced after her husband cheated with his sister. She had a teenage daughter. What about you? She asked. My wife turned out to be a professional con artist who married me to steal an inheritance. She went to federal prison 6 months ago. Sarah blinked. Okay, that's more complicated than most people's stories. But you survived it. I'm not sure surviving is the same as living. No, she agreed. But it's a start. We met twice a week for a month. Just coffee, just conversation. Slowly, carefully, we built something. Do you think you'll ever trust someone again? She asked one morning. I don't know. Do you? I'm trying. It's like you got bitten by a dog. You know most dogs are friendly, but you can't stop seeing every dog as a potential threat. So what do? I guess we decide if the risk is worth it. September 2026. 2 years after my mother's funeral, Sarah and I were having dinner, celebrating her daughter Emma's acceptance to UCLA. You've been part of her life for over a year now, Sarah said. You helped with college essays, taught her about financial planning. That counts. We'd been together for over a year. I still verified things sometimes, still maintained separate accounts, still kept part of myself protected. But I was trying. Robert, Sarah said carefully, do you think you'll ever fully trust me? Or is there always going to be a part of you waiting for me to reveal I'm a con artist? I trust you more than I've trusted anyone since this happened. But am I still scared? Yes. Every day I choose to stay is a day I'm choosing you over my fear. That's the best I can offer. She took my hand. That's enough. Because I'm doing the same thing. That's what real trust looks like after betrayal. It's not blind faith. It's conscious choice despite fear. My phone buzzed. Text from Chen. Jessica filed for early release based on good behavior. Hearing scheduled next month. They can't release her, Sarah said. If they grant early release, she could be out in 5 more years. Then we fight. The parole hearing was October 15th, 2026. I sat across from Jessica, who looked older, diminished. Mr. Anderson, how has Ms. Holloway's crime affected your life? The chairwoman asked. I don't sleep well. 2 years later, I still have nightmares. I've lost the ability to trust easily. I second-guess every relationship. Jessica didn't just steal money, she stole 23 years of my life. 23 years when I could have found real love, built a real family. Instead, I have fake memories. I looked at Jessica. My mother died trying to protect me from this woman. She spent her last years gathering evidence. Ms. Holloway has expressed remorse, a board member said. She's been a model prisoner. Don't you think people can change? Jessica ran cons for over 25 years. She destroyed lives as casually as most people do grocery shopping. That's not a mistake, that's who someone is. I pulled out letters from other victims opposing her release. Jessica's attorney tried to portray her remorse, but I interrupted. Even in her apology letter, she was still running a con. Ms. Holloway, would you like to address Mr. Anderson? The chairwoman asked. Jessica stood slowly. Robert, I've spent 2 years thinking about what I did. I realize I destroyed people's lives because I couldn't face my own emptiness. Save it. I've heard this performance before. I've lost everything. You're paying for getting caught. If my mother hadn't exposed you, you'd still be out there. How many more victims would there be? The board deliberated 3 hours. Ms. Holloway, this board recognizes you've been a model prisoner. However, the severity of your crimes and the number of victims leads us to deny your petition. You will be eligible to reapply in 3 years. Furthermore, we recommend you serve your full sentence without early release consideration. Jessica would serve her full 22 years. October 2027. 3 years after my mother's funeral, I stood at her grave, placing flowers. Hi, Mom. I'm dating someone. Her name is Sarah. She's kind, patient, and understands why I'm damaged. We're talking about moving in together. I'm terrified, but I'm trying. I've been thinking about what you did, the secrets, the evidence, the money. I was angry for a long time, but I understand now. You were protecting me the only way you knew how. The Ashford money has been life-changing. I've been using some to help fraud victims through the Stolen Lives Foundation, funding therapy, legal fees, emergency housing. I testified against Jessica at her parole hearing. She's staying in prison for the full sentence. But I'm okay, Mom. I'm learning to trust again. I'm building something new. As I walked to my car, Sarah called. Hey, where are you? At the cemetery. Visiting Mom. I'll make dinner. Emma's coming over. Drive safe. I love you. First time she'd said those words. Say that again. I love you, Robert. Fear rose up. Is this real? Is she playing me? But I remembered, real trust after betrayal isn't blind faith, it's conscious choice despite fear. I love you too, I said. And I meant it. Was I still scared? Yes. Did I still verify things? Yes. Was part of me still waiting for betrayal? Yes. But I was choosing love anyway. Choosing connection over safety. Choosing to live instead of just survive. That's what Jessica could never understand. She'd spent her life taking, using, exploiting. She'd never built anything real. She'd never experienced the terrifying, beautiful vulnerability of truly connecting with another human. She thought that made her smart, powerful. But sitting in prison for 19 more years, she'd realize real power isn't in taking, it's in giving. Real strength isn't in deception, it's in vulnerability. Real wealth isn't money, it's connection. I had all three. She had none. I'm writing this on a Tuesday evening. Sarah and Emma are in the kitchen making dinner, laughing, and I can hear them through the open door. 3 years ago, I lost everything. But I gained clarity about who I am and what matters. I gained the means to help other victims. I gained perspective about trust and vulnerability. I gained Sarah and Emma, a family who chose me. Most importantly, I gained the understanding that being deceived doesn't make me weak, it makes me human. Loving someone who didn't love me back doesn't make me pathetic, it makes me capable of real love. Jessica was the broken one, not me. To everyone reading this who's discovered their relationship was a con, listen carefully. You are not stupid. You are not weak. You are not to blame. The real question is, what do you do now? You can let the betrayal destroy your ability to connect ever again. Or you can make the hardest choice. You can choose to trust again anyway. Not blindly, but consciously and carefully. That's what I'm trying to do. Is it working? Ask me in 5 years. Or 10. All I know is I'm trying. I'm choosing life over survival, connection over safety, hope over fear. Because the alternative is letting Jessica win. Letting her steal not just my past, but my future too. And I refuse to give her that power. If my story resonates with you, share your experiences with betrayal and recovery. These stories help others recognize warning signs and know they are not alone. Trust carefully. Verify consistently. Document thoroughly. Love bravely. And remember, if you discover your spouse has been conning you, if your entire life turns out to be a lie, you can survive it. You can recover. You can build something real from the ruins of what was fake. I'm proof of that. This is Robert Anderson, reminding you that most people are real. Most love is genuine. Most relationships honest. Don't let one predator convince you the whole world is dangerous. Stay vigilant. Stay open. And never ignore that voice in your head that says something's wrong. Because sometimes, that voice in your mother's old bank card is the only thing standing between you and complete destruction.